Babalik tayo dito sa Premier Volleyball League live at the Batangas Sports Coliseum. And we take a look at the highlights here of set number 1. The High Flyers started out strong in that particular set, but the Navy Lady Oragons actually fought back. They trimmed the lead down to 1 point towards the end of that set, but eventually they could not come up or they could not get over the hump, giving the set away to the High Flyers.
I think one of the things that they'll realize looking back at that set is sayang, no? Medyo nahuli na yung paghabol na. They were very consistent at the latter part, but the High Flyers were already at 24, so it was a bit difficult, but nonetheless, I think the key things that they needed to correct in that set, which was their first ball, na-correct nila at the latter part. Let's see if that's something that will be consistent with going into the second set.
They had a lot of errors in the first set, specifically in those receptions. Banggit mo, first ball, and the High Flyers actually took advantage of that. They took the set away 25-23. But is rust a factor para dito sa Lady Navy Oragons? They've been off 10 days. As we take a look at the stats rather of set 1.
Well, set number 1, a bit very close actually when it comes to offense, blocking, services, everything all the way up to the opponent's errors. Ang nangyari lang dito talagang nag-unahan sila. And if we're talking about rust, could be the case even if you train consistently. It's still very different, ano, kung yung actual game, iba yung speed. Even if you do pick up games or tune-up games, it's different. It's still different. So it could be that, but we saw how they were picking up at the latter part of the first set. So it will be interesting to see how they will change up the way they play the game here in the second set.
And they're actually used to playing close games. Dahil yung, not really used to, but their first game of the season was actually very close, a 4-setter against the purest water defenders NU. But the High Flyers again getting the first point here in set number 2 on this first game. Yes,
you know, Martin, Coach Roger actually fielding in Singh this time around, no, for this set. And I'm looking at their bench ngayon. Ang lakas. They have a very, very deep bench. Soltones is right there. Manabana nandyan. I mean, it's pretty much a solid team. So kung merong kailangan hugutin, we know that Coach Roger actually has a lot of players to pull from the bench.
Kumbaga, yung kanyang second unit, pwede rin yung maging starting lineup dito sa ating laro. Of course, one of the most loaded teams here in the PVL, the High Flyers. They now take a 2-1 lead. Jorel Singh, again, who just entered here in set number 2. Now serves it up. Serafika. Bombita. Roundtree with a save. Abor goes to that running hit by Sullivan. Doesn't work. Euben! That's a cross-court hit for Macy Euben. And a great setup job there to set up that powerful attack by Macy. Abor, Ordas, bumawi naman with their own version of a cross-court hit. At ito papasok na Karandang and Cayuna for Coach Roger Gurayev.
Talked about how deep the bench is of Coach Roger. And we're seeing him experiment also.
It's only their fourth game rather of the season, so ay siya siguro naghahanap pa ng effective na combination to really power his team.
And of course, we from his team, these players actually come from different, well, from college, for example, iba-iba yung pinanggalingan nila. Di magkakalaban yung iba dyan. So I guess really trying to find the right mix of players to field in.
And in the case of the High Flyers, again, ensemble ito ng NU, FEU, and of course, San Sebastian. So siguro nangangapa pa sila. Well, at this stage of the season,
magandang problema. Ang daming players.
Oh, here's Bombita. Again, that loaded hit checked by the High Flyers. So from the tie earlier, 3 apiece, 2 straight points for the High Flyers. Let's now go to Roxanne Montealegre for her report. Rox?
Martin and Annie were talking just a while ago about the star-studded lineup of Coach Roger Gorayev. Pero aminado rin si Coach Roger that the biggest challenge for him today is to actually face a team that they know little about. At sabi nga niya sa kanyang mga players, ang hamon dito at ang name of the game is to learn on the fly, and he expects them to show their volleyball IQ in this second set. Pero para naman kay Coach Edgar Ruset ng kabilang team, ang sabi niya, for the Lady Oragons, the errors have been caused in the first set, so that's something that they should note. But more than anything, they should strive for better communication inside the court, better coverage, and better control. At yan ang gusto niyang makita dito, Martin at Anne.
Maraming salamat, Rox. Of course, they are facing this Navy Lady Oragons team na marami ring veterano. You have Serafika, Tekar, Acuña, the starting unit of Coach Egay Ruset. But right now, it is a 3-point lead. Live inside again, Batangas City Sports Coliseum on this beautiful Saturday. We are in set number 2 of this game between the High Flyers and Navy Lady Oragons. Bombita serving it up. Back set to Ordaz. Off the blockers, Ordaz with a point. Technical timeout here. First one off set number 2. The High Flyers leading it by 4. Babalik tayo dito sa PVL Reinforced Conference live on SNA, and we mentioned earlier, and Shelby Sullivan, the second import, of course, of the High Flyers, slowing down at least in the past couple of games after the 15-point outburst in the first one. 13 points in total at nagiging pababa yung trend ng scoring niya. 8 in the second game, 5 in their latest one.
Tama ka dyan. But today, she's, well, she actually started off a bit slow din, ano? Hindi masyadong, ano, but in the latter part of that first set, we saw how her game was picking up and how she provided that balance where we saw how hard she can hit, but she also had a lot of options when it comes to dropping the balls, for example.
All right, we have tweets here from our viewers, from One Dear Paul, watching the games on TFC. All the way from New Zealand.
Wow. Hello.
Shout out to you, Anne.
Hello, hello. And thank you.
All the way from New Zealand, there is One Dear Pool. And we have here Leah QA, who is a big supporter of Red Soltones.
Lady Beast.
Titignan natin kung makikita natin siya in action in this game. Di ba siya pinapasok ni Coach Roger? Si Jane Asay, 2018 naman, live ABS-CBN Sports. Good luck to the High Flyers, and of course, showing her support to their setter, Jasmine Labor, also a big fan of NU, and Reinhard Albesa naman. High Flyers rin ang sinusuportahan. Ang lakas daw pumalo ni Tess Roundtree. But that time, it was Durel Singh who showed us the power with that point. A 9-6 lead for the High Flyers here in set number 2. Again, setting the tone and taking control for the second straight set. Serafika. They go to Lauren White. That's a down-the-line finish for White.
What's really nice to see also, you know, watching this game is that the imports obviously are actually enjoying, you know, enjoying the game as well. You see them celebrate after each point. And earlier we asked how has the adjustment been. It looks like, you know, our imports, at least for the game we have on hand, they seem to have adjusted quite well with their respective teams.
They've been very seamless. Siguro resulta na rin ng bonding moments nila because they haven't been here for a long time. I think a month or a month and a half with their respective teams, but so far it's good to see them, like you mentioned, enjoying every bit of the action here in the PVL. But 2 straight points naman coming from the High Flyers, 11-7 lead. You guys saw earlier Coach Egay Ruset, the head coach of the Navy Lady Oragons. Nice serve, Serafika. They go to Yubin again. Saved by Pantone. They will send it over, a free ball here. Oh, powerful hit there by Macy Euben.
If you heard the sound of that ball from the moment it hit her hand,
wow,
and it landed on the floor.
Solid.
Oh, solid talaga. And, you know, the Diggers didn't have enough time to actually react to that ball.
Seeing the crack on the defense there. Lauren White, Serafica, binigay ulit sa kabila. Bombita. Saved by Pantone. Urdas sends it wide. So back-to-back points naman para dito sa Lady Oragons.
And that's usually the error that we see from Urdas, ano? Pag nasa ilalim siya ng bola, napapasobra talaga. She's unable to adjust.
Urdas again will try. Saved there by Tikar. Roundtree pops it up. They choose Urdas again. Off the blocker. Singh will save it. Back to Urdas. Oh, this time, he gets it through, pero na-save pa yun ng Lady Oragons. Singh gives up a free ball. Euben with a push. Oh, what a push there by Macy Euben. Grabe yung angle na daan.
And you know, the defense was actually expecting a hit. Walang tao. Look at that.
That was very difficult.
Very difficult. Too close to the net as well. That was a difficult angle. But with her height advantage, definitely that's something that, you know, I guess comes easy.
Macy Euben, of course, standing 6'2". And if you can leap like that and control your body like that at 6'2", things will be much easier for you. But an error here, net touch called on the Lady Oragons. So hindi pa rin sila makaumang dito. Tanko save. Point here. Durel Singh gives up the free ball. Let's see this one more time. Back set. This was the push earlier. Great banko save there by Macy Euben. Bombita. Singh. They will choose Roundtree, who just pushes the ball to the other side. Euben. Back set. Aiko Urdas. That goes out. Oh, but they're saying it's an error from Urdas. Let's see if it got through. Oh, it just bounced off the net. Good call by our official there. Kim with a serve. Nabor. Roundtree. Straight to Kim. Serafica. Si Bombita naman ang pinili, but that was just too soft and too easy for the blockers to catch. That was Sullivan and Aiko Urdas covering Grace Bombita. Euben! That's very hard to cover, Macy Euben.
She gets the right set. She can counter that ball well. Look at this.
Oh, what a hit.
And yung blockers din ng high flyers, ano, yung timing was a bit off.
Medyo may gap pa sa gitna doon. Late on the coverage. But it's a service error here for the high flyers. Again, serving. Urdas. Great looking serve there. Serafica. Euben. Oh, saved by Jorel Singh. Bombita.
Oh,
Powerful strike. And that's gone. Puntos for Grace Bombita. Look how loaded this spike is.
unable to handle, but Pantone credit the effort to try and run after the ball.
Oh, you know, she's gonna go after every ball. Oh, but Lizzie Pantone. Roundtree. Cross court hit. Saved by Tikar. Lauren White also saved by Singh. Roundtree will try and score.
That may have been a short rally, but that was an exchange of really strong attacks. Dug up very well by both teams until this last hit.
That's coming from Tessa Roundtree. Then parehong magandang floor defense ang pinapakita ng High Flyers and Navy Lady Oragons as Egya enters the game for Hez Acuna. Tess Roundtree will now try. Serafika, they go to Lauren White. Nabor goes to Roundtree from the back row.
Long.
Too long, yes. A lucky break there para dito sa Navy Lady Oragons, as that hit went long for Tess Roundtree. Is Egia serving now. Oh, Nabor tries the 1-2, does not work. Lauren White with a hit off the blockers. That's successful. A point for Navy here. Finally tying the game at 15 apiece. Let's see that one more time. Just bouncing it off the blockers there. Itong si Lauren White. $15 here in set number 2. Nabor, Singh, oh, that goes long, and the first lead of set number 2 for the Navy Lady Oragons, 16-15. Technical timeout here. You guys can see on your screens the middle blocker of the Navy Lady Oragons. Also, a former lady engineer na si Hez Acuna. Again, Hez Acuna helping out in that win against the Purest Water Defenders NU, scoring 9 points for her team. A much-needed support from the local cast nitong Navy.
Definitely. And we talked about how important it is, to have that strong, tight blocking at the net. Ito yung mga inaasahan natin, sa not just, of course, our imports, but even the local players as well.
And she was actually the third leading scorer in that game with 9 markers. But the lead was short-lived para dito sa Navy Lady Oragons as they give up an error. Serafika, Lauren White, the running hit.
Well, I think, for both teams, one thing that I've observed is that they've mostly gone to their outside hitters or opposite hitters. We haven't seen much sa gitna. And we saw that in the first set. Sullivan actually had some running hits. And she probably hurt me.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. That was something that was missing. And it could be because malakasan yung balikan ng bola, no? And kaya karamihan ng sets nga mataas.
So let's see kung ipapatuloy yan ng High Flyers here. Shelby Sullivan, of course, is a very powerful force right there in the middle. And that actually lets her surpass her point total from the previous game. She now has 6 markers. But they give up a service error. Again, giving the Navy Lady Oragons the lead here. Jorel Singh, straight to the double coverage. Isa pa para kay Singh. Saved. Here's Lauren White. Hindi kinaya doon ng single coverage ni Shelby Sullivan. That powerful back row hit from Lauren White. Timeout here by Coach Roger Gorayev.
Tapos pag may pumablak na ganun, huwag mong hintayin na yung bola parang lalampas dun sa blocker eh. Siyempre, may mga police na gusto nyo. Kailangan nandun lang tayo, nakaabang tayo. Okay, let's stop committing errors on the service. Just make good on the service, even though it's a very light service, just put it on the weakest receiver. And go to the outside hitter, that's easier to do. Sige lang.
Alright, so targeting ngayon ang didiskarte ni Coach Roger Gorayev. Maybe later, the service goes to their end, targeting the weakest receivers of the other squad as Jerry Lee Malabanan replaces Jarrell Singh on the floor. Ito na ang pinakamalaking lamang ng Navy Lady Oragons, at least here in the set, or in set number 2. 2 points, 19-17. 3 ball for the High Flyers. Nabor, Malabanan. Doesn't work. Nabor again. Will pop it up this time to Roundtree. But that's straight to the net for Tess Roundtree.
She was very conscious about stepping the line. And medyo alanganin din yung pag-angat ng bola.
That's a short attempt for Tess Roundtree. 3-point lead now for the Navy Lady Oragons. Urdas. Oh, what a save by Bumbita. Pero hindi na naisalba doon ni Janet Serafica. That breaks the streak or the run of Navy. Malabanan, FEU product, serves it up. Serafica, Bombita, blocked by the High Flyers, and of course, galing naman kay Nasib Dampuan, the bomb Bombita boom, with a couple of bomb emojis here, watching the PVL Reinforced Conference all the way from General Trias, Cavite. Wow, thank you so much for tuning in. Galing naman kay Blue Heart Strong, again complimenting the power of Tess Roundtree. Ibabaw na ibabaw daw siya sa mga blockers ng Navy. At galing naman dito kay John Rex Vencilao, sobrang werpa daw ni Sullivan. Werpa. Alright, 20 apiece here in set number 2.
Ito pwesto? Kaya ganda ko yun mo. Si Jello lagay mo dito, si Michi nandito. Huwag mo ka sa likod ako para ningin mo siya. Para sa patay lang tayo. Isip ka. Pag-aral si Michi. Kailangan kitang ano siya.
So after leading it by 3 points earlier, 20-17, naglaho yung lamang dito ng Lady Oragons. We are tied right now at 20 apiece in set number 2. Si Ru naman, pag pinapanood daw niya si Sullivan ng High Flyers, parang nakikita daw niya si Barbie na naglalaro ng volleyball. It's a great point.
Yeah, actually, if you see her in person, she's very slim, very lean.
That's right.
Her long hair.
And very deceiving as well, kasi hindi mo akalain ganun kalakas pumalo. Maraming salamat yung lumpia rito para sa masarap na food. Last PVL Grand Fans Day, napakasarap po niyan. Again, salamat po lumpia rito. But right after the timeout, 2 straight points for the Navy Lady Oragons. This time, Coach Roger will call for time.
Compose yan, just compose yourself. It's only 2 points. Save. You have a high tall blocker here. So you check first before you approach. Check where her position is. Maybe you attack in the middle blocker, not on the down the line. Ganun na lang. Isipin nyo ng maigi. Ha? Sabi sa inyo, iwasan nyo yung service error. After the service error, we commit 1 or 2 mistakes. After the service error. So make sure.
At nabanggit na ni Coach Roger, yung service errors nila, problema na nila yon. Set number 1 pa, really breaking their momentum and allowing Navy to stay in the game. As we take a look at now the stats of Tess Roundtree, we're only in set number 2, but she's already scored 10 points. 9 off attacks and 1 block. Here's Roundtree speaking off. Not successful there, and it's a 3-point advantage now for the Navy Lady Oragons.
1-man block for Roundtree.
That was Macy Euben covering her. Oh, but a service error galing dito kay Angela Kim. Leaving the door open para sa High Flyers. Shelby Sullivan with a serve. Euben, Seraptica, back to Euben, gets it through the blockers.
Another point for Euben.
So the Navy Lady Oragons now at set point, courtesy of this hit from their leading scorer, Macy Euben. Serve straight to Roundtree. Urdas, babawe, off the blocker, saved by Tikar. Here comes Euben. Naisalba naman yun ni Jasmine Abor. Roundtree will try, and Roundtree will score. The High Flyers staying alive here in set number 1, saving a set point.
Of course, we expect the board to now go for her high percentage attacker.
It's a matter of closing out now para dito sa Navy Lady Oragons. The push does not work for Euben. Roundtree bounces off the net. And that's the end of set number 2. A good bounce back performance coming from the Navy Lady Oragons. And we ended with that error from Tess Roundtree. Navy taking set number 2 away 25-22 and tying the matchup at 1 set apiece. Magbabalik po ang PVL dito live on SNA for set number 3 and of course stats and highlights of set number 2.